fate of the universe lies on your shoulders. Now, whatever you do, don't push this button. Because that will set off the bomb immediately, and we'll all be dead. Now, repeat back what I just said.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone. Try again.
I am Groot.
Mm-hmm.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I'm Groot.
No!
Hello, welcome to What the Flick. There's a special guest star here today. He's real. His name is Dave White.
Howdy.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
And that's Matt. Matt's back. Where were you again? Chicago?
I was in Chicago for C2E2.
Okay.
And then before that, I was in Orlando for Star Wars Celebration.
Okay.
It's been a good couple of weeks of nerding out for me.
Hardcore nerd con stuff. Okay,
Exactly.
so I'm Christy. I just stay here. So Guardians comes out next week, the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, Volume 2. But we've all seen it. And we know that you are probably clamoring to know about it. So we're going to talk about it. And Matt's going to describe it. Matt,
Yes.
go.
All right. So Guardians of the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 finds our intrepid heroes still taking jobs for money. It starts off with them fighting an interdimensional monster. Then we find out that there may be some interesting information about Peter Quill's father and who his father is, which you've probably seen in the trailers. He goes and meets his father, and it gets pretty fun. Let's watch the trailer.
Showtime, a-holes!
Screw you, spaceship!
Does anybody have any tape out there? I want to put some tape over the death button.
Nobody has any tape.
Not a single person has tape.
You have an atomic bomb in your bag. If anybody's gonna have tape, it's you.
I have to do everything.
You are wasting a lot of time.
That's a really bad sign.
Did you love this as much as the first one?
I think I did. I did. It's a different tone. This one is not as consistently zany as the first one. There is a lot of madcap energy, and it gets pretty goofball. But there's a tonal shift that I actually think works in here, where it really gets into these characters and them as a family, and Peter's relationship with his father, and there's some interesting examinations of kind of the relationship between Gamora and Nebula, and kind of an interesting, deeper look at Rocket. I thought this worked, and to the point that the end of the movie, I found myself surprisingly moved in a way that I did not expect from this movie at all. Like, got a little bit of a lump in my throat. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you as well? Were you moved?
I don't have feelings.
But if you did.
But if
That's
I
because
did,
you yourself are a living planet, similar to
Ego.
something like that. But I'm with Matt.
Okay.
I don't. Again, there are no lumps in my throat, but
well, here I can fix that.
but he's right. This is a much more emotion-driven film than I think maybe any Marvel movie I've ever seen. It's not as exciting overall, I think, as the first one. The first one was this jolt of exuberant pleasure, where if you had come to expect a certain thing from superhero movies, you're going to get something else from Guardians. You're going to get, like you said, a goofier tone, a more intentionally funny film.
Right, that first one's a bit is pretty gonzo.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's cheeky.
It's cheeky.
It's irreverent.
It's irreverent.
Yes.
They're pulling no punches, right? Like that first one, they don't take themselves seriously really at all.
And they
At
don't
all.
for the
Yeah.
most part with this one too. Even though the tone gets more serious,
Right.
they don't take themselves seriously, I don't think.
Right, and I went in expecting what Alonzo had seen the film like 2 weeks ago.
He's crazy.
And he divides these movies up into, are they active parts or are they bridges? And I thought, okay, this is going to be one of the bridge films. But instead, it felt like they just went deeper into the characters.
It's kind of its own
thing. Instead of linking you to something else that might be coming in the future. And honestly, I don't want to give away plot details, but this felt more like, and this will sound maybe funny coming from a superhero action movie, but a kind of deeper exploration of the consequences of childhood emotional trauma.
It totally is.
Yes,
it absolutely
is.
Was surprised me.
It is, and that's ambitious, and I appreciate, as you're saying, it's not shameless connective tissue within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It very much is its own thing. You do need to have seen the previous one to know who they are and why they matter to each other. But you don't need to have seen every single other Marvel movie to know its place in it, because except for like one mention of an Infinity Stone.
Right.
It's its own standalone thing, I think.
I really, really liked how the relationships between the characters evolved in this one. You do see those relationships progress, and there is some self-examination, even with Drax, right? And they treat Drax like this big dumb idiot, and I think on a certain level, Bautista is kind of the secret weapon in this movie. Like I think he's really funny in this. It probably has maybe more laughs than anyone else in the movie. But this movie does this great job of really getting in these characters, kind of enough of their backstory, and then you hear a little bit more. And like you said, Dave, it deals with these childhood traumas and plays them out in front of you. And there's this really great emotional payoff. And especially with Yondu, I thought that was great. And there's by the time you get to the very end of this movie, I was surprised at how emotionally moved that I was by this film. I was really, really shocked. I did not expect that from this of all movies at all. And it's not to say that I'm second guessing what James Gunn and this cast is capable of. Just I too went in like the first one, like, all right, this could be another Gonzo movie. Great, let's go. And no, it's hey, we're gonna look at family, and we're gonna really look at family and the choices people make and the consequences of those choices and what they mean. And these characters are true to themselves. And it's, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I didn't love this quite as much as the first. Like, I was totally blown away by the first because it was so different and it was so novel. And that novelty is now gone because it's a sequel, and movies like Deadpool have come along, which have also sort of ridden that train of like, we're gonna be raunchy and irreverent and we're gonna shock you and not take ourselves seriously. And so that has been done now a couple of times. So yes, it's hard to have that kind of lightning strike twice. And they do have different ambitions here than they did for the first one. Part of the problem for me too is that they divide the Guardians for so much of it, right? Because you have Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax all off in one place, and then you have Baby Groot and Rocket off in another place, and that saps some of the energy, that great dynamic that they all have, like when they're in the ship and they're giving each other crap and they're bantering. Like that liveliness is quite frequently missing from that big chunk in the middle. So I didn't quite love it the way I did the first. But when it's firing on all cylinders, it's a blast. I must say, Baby Groot is great. I could watch an entire movie of Baby Groot running around tunnels carrying a detonator. Just looking around, looking for where to go.
You just made Vin Diesel very happy.
Oh my God, how versatile is Vin Diesel? And another movie about #family. This is a hashtag family. We don't leave our family behind. It's like they're taking pieces of the Fast and Furious script and putting them in here.
I think they care more.
That's the crossover we all want.
Is that? Oh my God! Can he play Dom and Baby Groot at the same time?
It's only a matter of time before Fast and the Furious goes into space anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, I think in terms of #family, this film is doing a better job of exploring that idea and these characters within the #family than the Fast and Furious films are. And I love the Fast and Furious movies. There's a newcomer, for me anyway. Her name is Pomme Clementif. She's from Canada. She's Quebecois.
Oh, yes, sir.
She's a mantis.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really good.
And you were talking about Drax as their secret weapon.
Yeah.
I am really excited to have her on board now.
Yeah.
As Mantis. And I looked on IMDb this morning, something I never do in terms of Marvel films, and I know that she's going to be in another one soon. So
there you go. Look, as Mantis?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
and they have a nice banter with each other, the two of them.
And we get a little bit more from Sean Gunn that we hadn't seen before. You know, we saw him a little bit in the first movie. We get more of him in this one. You know, we get more of Michael Rooker as Yondu, and I think that pays off really, really nicely. I think this is a great movie. I'm very impressed. It like the first one, it subverted my expectations in a way that I was really happy with.
Can we discuss the soundtrack really quickly? Because that's such a big component of these movies is Star-Lord's love for like bad 70s yacht rock. I'm sorry, not bad. I love yacht rock. When it comes on Sirius every summer, I listen to it. But I felt that some of the choices were a little obvious.
They were.
Brandy.
But they were the last film
obvious. Too. Brandy's a plot point, and it's a little obvious, I think, as like
Listen,
the
it's
cheesy.
No Zemeckis movie.
But the first one had good yacht rock choices. This is true.
If that's your bar.
They're not playing like Fortunate Son because people are going off to war. So I was not as in love with the 70s soundtrack songs this time. I don't know.
I like them quite a bit. Yeah. I find Star-Lord's mother's taste pretty good. There could be more Donna Summer for the next Guardians. Someone please, give us a little disco.
Right, for Awesome Mix Volume 3.
Yeah.
But
he's got, I can't tell you.
But the Fleetwood
Mama's a rocker.
But the Fleetwood Mac song they choose is not one you necessarily hear.
Right, but I think
that's a great one though.
It's used very well. Yes. Very well. All right. Anything else? Am I missing anything? Oh, stay through the credits. There are not one but 5 teasers.
You're gonna have to tell me what those are.
You didn't stay?
No, because they took our phones.
They did take our phones. It was a cluster getting out of the
And I find that insulting. And I walked out right as the credits started rolling, and the guy said, "Is it already over? There are 5 credits bumps."
Don't you want to know?
Said, and I would be watching them if y'all hadn't taken my damn phone.
I should have gotten out right when the credits began, gotten my phone, and then come back in and gotten my son because it was a fucking cluster.
Because how could we possibly watch a movie without our telephones?
Also, it's in 3D, people.
I can watch a movie without my phone.
I can't, even if I want to, photograph your 3D movie on my phone, and I'm not gonna jeopardize my career to do it. Anyway,
I'm a good citizen. I turn off my phone.
Right.
And
he's the phone monitor.
am I ever? And
you're awesome.
And I'm a good citizen. I don't misbehave with the phone in the movie ever, and I yell at people who do.
Wait till they tell us that we can't go in with pants.
Then it's all.
I'm down with that.
And also, really fast, if you're gonna bring a kid, it's a blast, but there's a lot of language. That's it. And some sexual jokes they won't get. Anyway, I'm saying 7.3.
I forget what I said.
You said 7.5.
7.5.
I think I'm going up to an 8.5. I said 8. I'm going to 8.5.
We don't have Geralda here to do math for us. Now it's 23.3 divided by 3. Someone do that for me.
23.3 divided by 3 equals 7.766.
7.8. 7.8. And it's at 87 on the tomato meter?
It is currently at 87% on the tomato meter.
Is that higher or lower than the first Guardians?
That is lower.
Okay. So anyways, coming out next week, but we're here for you now. Enjoy. Bye.